welcome to Ubidati Family Television, and the program is Possible Nigeria. And yes, I am King Kempsey, and I'll be doing this alongside eBay Chooks. Chooks, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Kamsi.
Yeah, thank you. It's so much, and I know I've been MIA for a while, but glad to have you back and do this alongside you. Okay, so quickly we'll just be moving straight up into what we're discussing today, and today we'll be looking at transportation in Peter Obi government. Yes, what transportation will look like in a Peter Obi government. We're going to be analyzing some of the problems and the issues that we have had with with transportation rather, and also be looking into the Peter Obi manifesto to see some of the plans that he had for our transportation system in collaboration with a little bit of comparison and the competitiveness and the world-class transportation system and what it looks like. So quickly today, we have a guest who will be joining us on the show to discuss issues as it pertains to our topic today. This man is one of the most vocal obedients I have met. He is not ashamed to speak about his affiliation with Peter Obi and how he believes that Peter Obi can give us a better Nigeria and a possible Nigeria that we seek for. And there's no other person than the chairman of the Northern Comrades movement. He is one who is very attached to a whole lot of socio-political and non-governmental movements, and he's also been a champion to a lot of civil societies. He is the chairman of the Northern Comrades movement. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Malam Jabir. Malam Jabir, good morning.
Brother.
It's nice to have you on the show this morning, and definitely I'm looking forward to an insightful conversation. But before we get into conversation proper, I want to understand. You have chosen Mr. Peter Obi to be your choice candidate for the 2023 forthcoming elections. That's in less than 9 days away. Why did you make that decision of Mr. Peter Obi?
Well, thank you very much for having me this morning. Well, actually, some years back, I'm the kind of person that doesn't have interest in politics at all because I'm not happy with the way things are happening in the country, especially here in the northern part of the country. If you look at the situation here in the north, it's worrisome. Insecurity, hunger, unemployment, and other sort of things that I'm not happy and I'm not pleased with. And one day I was thinking of politics. I learned that majority of government officials are from the northern part of the country, and we have been ruling this country for a very long period of time. And I just look at ourselves, the situation, the bad situation we found ourselves. We have the president, we have chief of army staff, we have this, we have that, we have almost everything, but we are the ones suffering the most. So I just met one of my bosses, the current DG of Big Ten Presidential Campaign Council of Peter Obi, Mr. Zita. So I asked him, sir, this time around, I want to participate fully in politics. Who do you think is the right candidate for me to join? When we started conversation, he briefed me the contributions he gave towards Buhari's campaign right from 2003 up 2015 when he won election. And he was disappointed with the way Buhari is doing things and other northern politicians. So after that conversation, he didn't say anything to me. He just said, go and study the four presidential candidates and get back to me in a week. So I now went back home. I made a research on Mr. Peter Obi, Konkoso. Already I know almost everything about Tinubu. I don't have to waste much time on that. So I came back after and told him that this time around I will support Peter Obi, looking at his clean record, integrity, competency, and ability to rule this country. So he now said, I made a very good decision and I spoke what in his mind because that is what is the decision, that's what he's going to do, that's the candidate he is going to support. So right from then, we started the movement, we started mobilization, and other sub-campaign activities. We even traveled to Lagos for retreats with some support groups of Peter Obi, and from then I met him one on one. I met Mr. Peter one on one. I asked him so many questions. I asked him like about 4 to 5 questions. Number one, I asked him about the unity of this country because it is very important. You see how things are in the country. There is no unity. He answered me perfectly. I also asked him about agriculture because I'm an agriculturist. He answered me perfectly. I also asked him about unemployment. He answered me perfectly. I also asked him about security. Uh, he also answered perfectly. So I was so convinced that Peter Obi is the perfect candidate for the job because Atiku Tinubu has nothing to offer for this country. So, in a nutshell, this is the reason why I'm supporting Mr. Peter Obi as the incoming president of Nigeria.
Hmm. Okay. Well, Jabi, you've said quite a whole lot about the reason why supporting Mr. V, and definitely are all valid points. And just before I get in, I'm just going to say I know you're very soft-spoken, but I would love if you could elevate your vocals a little bit because I was actually struggling to hear you at some points out here. I don't know if it's the network or but just try to expand
Uh,
your voice when you speak.
all right, all
Now, today, we've seen that Mr. Peter Obi is one embodiment of knowledge. He has spoken widely about his plans of how he wants to direct Nigeria. Even before the manifesto came out, he was already saying things as related to what he wanted to do in Nigeria when he becomes president. And also, he has put down in the manifesto. And now we're going to be taking excerpts from the manifesto. We're looking into transportation as one of the key discussions for today. I want to narrow it down before I go to transportation. Is actually very broad. We have transportation through air, through land, rail, and also water. But I want to start off with the rail conversation, which is one very important conversation that we've seen time after time of how insecurity majorly has been a hamper, has been some sort of blockage to the rail transportation. Now people don't even want to travel by the rail again, despite the rail being one of the or used to be the safest and fastest because you hardly hear of a train crash or all of that. It used to be one of the safest ways to journey. But the case is not the same today. And it's a very big conversation out there. And a lot of people, undeniably, myself inclusive, might never want to travel through a rail again because of what we've seen. Taking the Kaduna Abuja case as one, and also one recently happened in Edo State, where we also saw travelers who were going through the rail also being attacked. So we've seen that times after time. Could you quickly react to that robustly about what Mr. Peter Obi could do differently to change that system in rail traveling?
So, well, as we all know, if we look at the situation of transport in Nigeria, as you said, is something very broad. When we come to rail transportation, as you said earlier, it is one of the most safest and comfort way of traveling in Nigeria because I'm a customer. Usually, whenever I'm going to Abuja from Kaduna, I usually follow train. But since that incident of train attack, many Nigerians are afraid to even follow the train. So, to me, the problem I think is lack of good leadership, negligence of government towards doing what is expected. Because if you look at the genesis of the Kaduna Abuja train attack, I learned that it was like an agreement uh, with the government and the terrorists because if you could remember the Kuje train attack, there were some Boko Haram members who were being detained by the government in Kuje prison. And the kidnappers wanted their leaders to be released by the government. So the government made a deal with them that if they could allow train to move freely from Abuja to Kaduna and other parts of the country, their leaders will be released. So you see, if a serious government cannot negotiate with terrorists, knowing that these terrorists are going to terrorize the citizens. So you see, it is all because of bad leadership, negligence, incompetence, and other sort of lackadaisical attitudes being displayed by the government. Any serious government will not allow a non-terrorist, because all these terrorists, they are known, they are well known. Everyone knows them. Everyone knows their family. Everyone knows where they reside. Everyone knows their sponsor. Because if you could remember some years back, Buhari's government made mention that they knew all the sponsors of Boko Haram. And what have they done? They did nothing. So you see, this is lack of good leadership. Once there is good leadership in the country, everything will go smoothly as expected. So I think once we have a competent, charismatic, and hardworking leader, all these kind of problems will not be there anymore. Because there are so many ways to tackle insecurities. One is providing a conducive atmosphere for every citizen. When there is conducive atmosphere for every citizen, is drastically engaging in this banditry, Boko Haram, and so on. It's all because of employment, lack of welfare, and other basic necessities that are supposed to be provided by the government. So you see, this government brought hunger. This government brought sort of hardship. If you take Kaduna as an example, the governor of Kaduna sacked thousands of teachers without giving them another option. What do you think that people will? They have families to feed, they have so many responsibilities. So you see, the people must engage themselves in so many atrocities, so many unethical activities to take care of themselves and their families. So once there is a conducive atmosphere for citizens to live freely, to feed themselves, to feed the members of their families, to dress well, to move freely, to do everything, all sorts of insecurities will drastically reduce. So I think by providing a conducive environment, by eradicating poverty, by eradicating hunger, I think the security problems will reduce in Nigeria. So now you see, even last week I traveled to Abuja, but I was afraid to follow train because I'm not sure. There's no guarantee in it is safety. I followed road. If you follow Abuja to Kaduna now, you will see hold up. There are too many vehicles. Nobody is even patronizing train anymore because the last time I patronized train, there were many vacancies. Street. So you see, this is all because of bad leadership. But with Peter Obi, Nigeria will be a great country. He did very well in Anambra. My brother served in Anambra some years back. He told me what happened during 2011 elections. He told me that he was serving there. Peter Obi was the governor of Anambra State. So an incident happened whereby Hausa people have been attacked. So they all rose to army headquarters. Is it army headquarters or barrack? So, and the governor, Peter Obi, he met them there, he calmed them down, he promised to secure their lives and properties. He brought some relief materials and he assured them that nothing will happen to them. He gave them safety and so on and so forth. He was telling me that once he had people say Peter Obi is not a good man. He pushed out Northerners from his state while he was the governor. If he didn't say anything about it, God must punish him because that's not exactly what happened. So he said he witnessed it himself. Peter Obi protected their lives and properties in Anambra State. So we see someone with this kind of history is deserves our vote, deserves our solidarity, deserves our loyalty. So I think good leadership is everything. Once there is good leadership, Nigeria will be a great country, and there will be a conducive environment for every citizen to move freely to do whatsoever they want. So I think this is what I have to ask.
Okay, that's a lot said about railway transportation. But now let's single out road transportation. Personally, I've been to a couple of places in the north, and I can tell that the north is a very big area by landmass. We will have the biggest state in Nigeria is Niger State with quite a lot of landmass there. And sometimes from a place to a place in Niger State by road can even take you up to 24 hours, if not more, to journey from a particular location to another location in Niger State. A lot of people have complained generally about what the situation of transport looks like. Because some people in some hinterlands in Niger State might want to make it to Mina, to the markets in Mina to purchase some product, and they have to spend days on the road in the same state. They are not traveling out of the state, in the same state. And now speak more of people who travel all the way from other parts of the country to, because I had a story of a lady who spent up to 4 days on the road trying to journey from Benin to somewhere in Plateau State. She spent over 4 days on the road. So that is one of the problems that we've seen in the transportation sector, especially as it pertains to road. And even also within states, we see people who they can't take cars into some particular location. They can access transportation because even when they have people or drivers who are willing to drive and get into those locations, there's lack of vehicles, there's lack of a lot of other alternatives. So a lot of people want to hear from you. What do you think P2B can do to stretch out and ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians as it pertains to transportation by road?
Okay. Now, well, you see, if you look at the situation in Nigerian transportation system, we have many problems. We have like 4 to 5 problems. Number one, we have poor road transportation infrastructure. We have government officials and contractors siphon funds allocated to roads. For instance, now, if you look at the project of Abuja to Kaduna Road, this project has been allocated much funds, but look at the situation. I just followed the road last week. Nothing has been done, even a quarter. So you see, there is corruption. The contracts are not being given to deserved people. They are giving contracts to their family and friends. They are giving contracts to well-known corrupt people. How can a country be fully developed when there are such kind of people? So you see, corruption has been a major problem. So there is poor road maintenance. They don't do the needful. I just came back from Sokoto last week. If you look at the road right from Sokoto up to Kaduna, the situation is very bad. There's no maintenance in everything. And look, what's the essence of Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is to maintain the road, but they are not doing what is expected of them. Majority of the people in that agency are corrupt. If they are being allocated 10 million to maintain a road, they will not use that money for the purpose. They will misuse the resources. You understand? So corruption is one of the major problems that is causing all this. And majority of the contractors, they are, as I said earlier, they are their friends or they are their own companies because most of these politicians own companies. So they awarded contract to their companies. And at the end of the day, even if they do the project will not be up to standard. A road, I know of a road that was being constructed in 2020. But if you follow that road now, I'm telling you, you will be highly disappointed because it is very, very bad. This will tell you that the work has not been done appropriately. So, and there is inadequate skilled manpower and low levels of technology in road construction. If you look at developed countries, how they construct their roads is quite different from our own. So you see, we have to bring technology in everything. We must avoid all modern, ways of doing things in Nigeria. We need to upgrade. This is 21st century. So, and road congestion due to urbanization and overpopulation. If you go to Kano State now, they are overpopulated. And the roads that are being constructed by them is not up to standard because there is corruption. They award contracts to their families, to their friends. Now, if you go to Abuja from here, you're supposed to spend, it's just 160 kilometers from Kaduna to Abuja. But I'm telling you, you'll end up spending more than 3 hours. So you see, what is the essence of all this? So there is need for agency that will take a very good care of the roads, or there is need for instruction of the people in that agency, in that federal road maintenance agency, because the people there are not doing what is expected of them. They are just being given a lot of money, but at the end of the day, the money will just be misused. So we need to change. We need a leader who can fight corruption with all his heart. I see no reason why of us as Nigerians voting a well-known thief, a well-known corrupt person to lead us. Voting Atiku or Tinubu is just, waste of time and resources and energy. So they have nothing to offer for us. Now, most of the people that are suffering from the bad road are people living in the rural areas, small farmers. Most of these farmers, they want to bring their farm product from the rural areas to urban areas, and most of these farms are, most of these, products are fresh, like tomatoes, cabbage, and so on. Once they take much time on road, they get spoiled. So you see, this affects our economy, this affects employment, this affects the livelihood of people living in the rural area and as well those living in the urban areas. And it also affects the health issues because most of the properties being brought by local people to urban areas, in most cases, they are spoiled due to the bad roads and they cannot afford to lose. And that's how other people will purchase it. And that's how they will end up using it. And that's how it will end up causing problems to our health. So you see, the issue of bad roads in Nigeria has so many effects on us. When you come back to health sector, you see ambulances. Now, if you call ambulance from the hospital to your place due to the bad road, someone might end up dying. Pregnant people are dying due to bad roads, accident every day. Even yesterday, I was talking to my project supervisor in university. One of our professors had accident on his way from Sokoto to AB Zaria, and due to bad road. You see, we lost a very big person due to bad road, and this is all due to bad leadership. Once there is good leadership, what is road? How much do we have in this country that we cannot construct good roads for citizens to live freely? So you see, we have a very long way to go when it comes to road transportation.
Yeah, yes. Quickly, let's just because we're almost out of time, so let's just quickly touch on air, transportation as well. And right now, it's no news of the series of plane crashes we've had over the years, and also people keep complaining about the poor maintenance of our airports here in Nigeria. We go to airports, and the airport is looking like a warehouse in some other countries, and also, even with all of this bad situation of the airports and even the aircrafts themselves, we've also seen the prices of this this airfare, or the fare for our flight fare rather, has been increasing weekly, daily. One week you're seeing a different price, and the next week we're seeing another price. All of this still discourages people to fly by air, which is actually one of the fastest ways to journey in the world. But we've seen that we've constantly failed in that, and even we're speaking on that also, we'll bring in also the proposed Air Nigeria that we spoke about for a lot of years. And to today, Nigeria as a country has still not been able to flag off its own flight company or its own flight brand where we could have Nigerians fly at very subsidized rates. All we're saying is just private investors, and they've been able to take prices to whatever level they want to take it. There's no regulation in terms of prices of flights. So let's just quickly react to that.
So, well, when we talk about airports in Nigeria, actually, whenever I heard the word airports, I actually feel sad because I somehow use flights time to time. If you go to Lagos airport now, you will be impressed as someone who came from the north because you cannot compare Lagos airport and any other airport in the northern part of the country. Last time, the November, I traveled to Lagos from Kaduna. I used Asman. I used Asman. So Asman was the only plane taking passengers from Kaduna to Lagos at that very moment. So just look at Kaduna is the center of the north. Kaduna is just like the heart of the north. But if you go to Kaduna airport, I'm assuring you, Wallah, you will not be happy with the situation. The place is very scanty, it's just dry, nothing. Just imagine the center of the northern part of the country, Kaduna. The only airport that I'm proud of in the north is Aminu Kano International Airport. And this is because they are into business. There are some international issues happening there. But all this is because of bad leadership. There is no price regulation. You can travel now from Kaduna to Lagos, maybe 70,000, 50,000, and when you are coming back, you just hear 100,000 or more than that. What is this? Hmm? So you see, this is bad leadership. There should be a price regulation in everything, not only in transportation sector, in almost everything. You go to market now, you can buy things at 10 naira. Tomorrow when you go back, 50 naira. What is this? So you see, we need a revolution. Everything in this country needs to be thoroughly restructured. Everything. I didn't remove anything. Everything needs to be thoroughly restructured. And you will see now, maybe you are having an interview or meeting or any important schedule by 10 o'clock in Abuja, and you booked flight 8:45 or 9. And just imagine the way they behave. They might end up delaying you for 2 hours. There was a time I was late for like more than 5 hours in Lagos. I was going back from Lagos to Abuja. Yeah, so just imagine, this is all because of there is no competition, there is no good leadership. If government should have its own flight for citizens, all this will not happen. All this commercial flight will not be maltreating, misbehaving anyhow as they wish. And there is no proper authority that are putting them on the right track, showing them what to do, because they are all family and friends. As I said earlier, they are running government based on nepotism. Once I'm the president now, I will appoint my nephew or sister as the minister of transport, or my friend as the DG, port authority or whatsoever. So we need to turn away all these things. That is why we need Peter Obi. I'm assuring you, once Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria, there will be a political revolution. All these bad old politicians must be tired. They must go. We are tired. So you see, we need to think outside the box. We must forget our differences. We must accept the fact that we are Nigerians first before any other thing. All these useless people, they are just using religion and tribe to deceive us, to retain power. They are just using it as a technique to retain power. They do not add any value to religion. Even this so-called Muslim ticket of Tinubu, me as a Muslim, they did nothing to us. The APC's Muslim ticket has nothing to do with Islam or our religion because they don't add any value to either Islam or any Muslim. They are just bunch of saboteurs. They are just bunch of corrupt people using religion to gain power to continue with their.
Mm.
So you see, we need good leadership. We need someone who is capable of saying yes and someone who is capable of saying no. Someone who is not being controlled by any other useless person in this country. Once there is good leadership, everything will be okay in this country.
Okay, just quickly, let's just wrap it up because we're already out of time. It's 9 days to election, less than 9 days if we're being very objective. What would you say to people who are still undecided or people who are deciding to vote the same parties that put us in this mess that we're in now? What would you say to them, uh, as some sort of gearing up towards the 25th of February where the elections are going to happen?
Well, number one, I will say that they should fear God. They should not cheat on innocent souls. They shouldn't cheat on their unborn children. They shouldn't cheat on their fellow Nigerians because voting APC or PDP is just like a cheating on someone because these people will nothing will change. The hardship we are in now will even multiply because if Tinubu or Atiku has anything good to offer for this country, they have been in the government and Tinubu specifically is part of APC. He is part, he is a major stakeholder. He is an influencer. He is a national leader of APC. I didn't even say he has something tangible, something reasonable, something usable to offer for this country. He will have done that. So you see, just imagine someone telling you when it is my turn. How is that your turn to rule people? Just use your sense, common sense. How does someone tell you it is my turn to rule you and you accept that person? So I'm calling on those people to use their God-given brains to rationalize their thoughts in a vivid manner, to think as human beings, you understand? To forget about what they are going to get. Seeking change cannot solve your problem. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100, even 1 million naira at this very time in Nigeria cannot solve your problem. Don't sell yourself. Don't sell your soul. Fear God. You should know that God will ask you any person you are supporting, God will ask you.
Oh, okay. Mal Jabir, I think I lost you. I lost you for a minute, but thank you. There's a lot that has been said, and there's a lot still to say, but time won't permit us to do all of that. So we have to, round up at this juncture. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll have you some other time before the election, so we could, just throw more light onto what has been said and what needs to be said, and also talk to more people on how Peter Obi can change Nigeria and make Nigeria a better state than it already is. Okay, so thank you so
So
much.
thank you very much. And I have a lot to say, but due to the time factor, we just have to, leave it to some other time. But I have a very, very, very important things to say to my fellow obedience. But looking forward to having you next time.
Definitely, my
And thank
producer is going to get in contact with you, and we'll see how that can happen before the election. Please just hold forth. He'll reach out to you once the show is done. Thank you so much.
thank you, brother. Have a nice
Uh,
day.
okay, you too. It's still Obidati Family Television right here on, and we have the program going on right now. Possible Nigeria. It's been myself and Ibe Chooks in the flanks, making sure that it all waters down properly. Chooks, how you doing? I know we've also had we all had problems with transportation as regards to what it looks like in Nigeria right now, which was what we had Madam Jibri throw more light on while we discussed earlier.
Yeah, and I think it was quite an insightful discussion with Jibril. We all know the issue we're having with transportation in this country, especially when we're looking at land transportation, and train. Of course, I think the train is, if you ask me, barely effective in this country, and you have so many things working against that: security, bad infrastructure for the trains. You have trains going off their track, and that is not a good thing. So I think the safest way to means of transport now in this country is air, and even at that, the airfares are very, very on the high side. You know, the common man can't afford to travel by flight. But the P2B administration has promised they're going to make the land, you know, very fancy
and safe as well.
To travel, and of course fix the trains, and also look at the air transportation and see how to reduce the fares, because I think so many Nigerians are in their late 50s or 60s and they've never boarded an airplane. Not because they don't want to, but because they've never been able to afford to board an airplane. So I think the prices of airfares can come down
a bit,
yeah. So people that want to travel, at least if you want to go from a region to a region, you're able to take flights, you know, conveniently.
You know, we discussed a lot of things, and whenever we come on this show to discuss, we just know how much Nigeria has deteriorated as a country. We come here, we talk about airfare, we talk about electricity, we talk about, for everything we discuss here on the show, we notice that Nigeria is lagging behind in every sector. We cannot point out a single sector that the government is pushing up for us, and it's so bad. I could tell you authoritatively that I once in this country, this same Nigeria, bought an aircraft at 11,000 naira, not too far away, not too far ago. And right now, you can't even get an aircraft for ×3 that price.
I heard that. I want to fly from here in Anambra to Lagos. I think that should be around close to 100K, even 120 for commercial class. You're not talking about if you want to fly business class.
Business class.
Now, first class is of the chat. So it's just crazy.
It's just a big problem that we need the P2B administration to come in and solve for us. So it's a few days to the election, and right now, as we're running off the show, all we want to tell you is at this point, definitely we believe that your PVC is already somewhere cooling off, and we're waiting for that Saturday. It's just one Saturday away. Just after this Saturday coming up, the next Saturday, that's the 25th of February, is going to be the elections. We're hoping that you come out in your full force, your full might, with no show of force or anything in that order. We hope you come out to exercise your franchise fully and vote. Peter will be vote the party, Labour Party, vote for the people, and vote the 5 C's. So the 5 C's that make a competent leader with character, and all of other amazing things that P2B can bring to us as Nigerians. So we're running out of time right now, so we need to bounce. I remember that update comes up at exactly 10 a.m. Thank you so much for staying with us, and please keep the dial right here on Obidati Family Television. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of our social media platforms to get more information on how the campaign train and the elections are forthcoming, and how it's all going right there. And also, if you want to hit us up on WhatsApp, the number is showing on the screen right now. Please make sure to hit us up on WhatsApp, and we're going to have you right here speak to us on all you've been doing to support the P2B campaign in your area, and how you're sensitizing people on why the need to vote for Obi and Dati is very crucial to us having a Nigerian or progressive and a possible Nigeria. So thank you so much for tuning on this edition. Please don't go away.